Hello, listener. Before we start the show, quick 3 things I need for you to do to help us with getting the show in front of more people. Number 1, subscribe, because it's free and you get a new show every single week. Number 2, give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. And number 3, share this episode with a friend, because sharing is the ultimate internet currency, and we thank you for your donation. So without further ado, let us get this show on the road, and Jimmy, roll the thing.
That kind of nerd, let's start the show with comics, movies, and technology. Here we go, bringing you the segments that you're looking for, like Cape Talk, Screen to Stream, Tech Perspective, and more. Cast this nerd degree and the Blockbuster. Welcome to the club, cause you're that kind of nerd.
Welcome, everyone, to That Kind of Nerds Podcast, a weekly show that tells you what is going on in the nerdy world. I am CJ Mellon, joined by Brian Thornton.
Your voice is different when you record.
Okay, I guess that's the thing we're just doing now. Unfortunately, Josh cannot be here this week. He is too busy yelling passion fruit at a truck full of La Croix, so that way it has some flavor. Well, since it is the start of a new month, Brian, again, I have to thank you, sir, by candlelight this month, handcrafting a wonderful collection of movies that are coming out in the month of September. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Blockbuster.
I want to be very clear. I have electricity. There was no candlelight involved.
Well, I just thought that you put so much more attention that it's crafted by candlelight. That you could sell it for more.
I mean, yeah, this month was extremely hard with only 3 movies that are worth anything coming out. And we've talked about all 3 of them already.
Yep.
So I'm legit going to go through this rapid fire. Are you ready?
Go. Ready? Go.
First week in September 6th, It Chapter 2.
Hard pass.
You're not seeing it. I am. And then we wait.
You're not kidding. And then there's nothing until...
I'm still waiting. Hang on.
Sure. Pause for dramatic effect.
September 20th. September 20th has 2 releases that we have spoken about previously. Ad Astra, starring Brad Pitt and Tommy Lee Jones and other people that I don't remember right now. And also Rambo Last Blood, which is the end of the Rambo series, unless they make a Last Blood Part 2. Last Blood, the very last blood. Maybe the last drop of blood.
Last blood, but now it's the last plasma. Then it's the last organ. Then the last hair.
I don't know. But Rambo Last Blood both come out on September 20th, which I'm always down for a Rambo movie. And there you have it. The Blockbuster.
Hey!
Ta-da!
That is, I just like the record to reflect, people. We have been doing the show for about 4 years. And the Blockbuster for probably 3.5. And this is the shortest.
Sounds about right.
This is the shortest one that we've ever had.
This month sucks.
And it's filled with 1 hard pass and 2 hell yes. So
it's filled with a giant hell yes from me. I am all about It Chapter 2.
It's not gonna.
Yeah,
well, listen,
I'm sorry that you can't handle your own fears. That whole franchise is about you overcoming your fears, and apparently you don't know how to do that.
We are recording this on Friday, the 23rd. Hopefully, listener, by the time that you listen to this, the next 5 minutes will be resolved, but you need to know our feelings, because it's important to talk about the world of comics. See how they're affecting TV, see how they're affecting movies, but most of all, how the hell is it affecting the 2 of us this week? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Cape Talk.
Cape Talk!
So, Tuesday the 20th. A day which pissed me off for the whole week. Sony decided to do a little bit of leaking, saying that Spider-Man isn't going to be in the MCU. And if you follow our Instagram or any of our social posts, I instantly just said, first off, don't buy into this hype. This is just a PR stunt that's just going to blow up in everybody's faces. Please don't buy into this. But then, of course, because we're just a small, tiny corner of the internet, everyone else said, fuck you, I have feelings! And the chaos has ensued. I am not kidding. I've had people who I haven't spoken to in years text me or send me a Facebook post of, is this true? Is Spider-Man really leaving the MCU? I mean, Brian, your dad, Papa Thornton, even had to text us, and I had to give my 2 cents. I don't believe the hype. This is really just a PR stunt gone awry. It was
It's not gone awry. It's gone exactly how they wanted it to go.
I guess so. It's a negotiating tool. It's all about producers. Brian, give me context or calm me down because I'm angry.
I don't know how I'm going to calm you down. Nothing that I'm going to say is going to help the situation. I think that Sony has gotten a little full of themselves because they had a successful Spider-Man movie with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and a way more successful than anybody expected Venom movie. And they're just trying to get a bigger piece of the pie, more say in the creative process. I don't know what their end goal is. I just think that they're stirring the pot. They're poking the bear. Whatever other clever metaphor you want to assign to get Disney to acquiesce to their requests. But much like Barbosa says, I'm sure Disney will decline to acquiesce to their requests.
And also, they're more like guidelines anyway, right?
I mean, really, yeah.
Okay.
When you think about it.
So here's a tweet that came out on the 21st, right? And there's just a few lines of this that just infuriate me. Much of today's news about Spider-Man has mischaracterized recent discussions about Kevin Feige's involvement in the franchise. I highly doubt that.
Mm-hmm.
We are disappointed, but respect Disney's decision not to have him continue as lead producer for our live-action Spider-Man films. I also doubt that as well. We hope this might change in the future, but understand that many new responsibilities that Disney has given him, including all their newly added Marvel properties, don't allow him to work on IP they don't own. Okay, first off, that's a huge fuck you. Kevin is terrific, and we're grateful for his help and guidance and appreciate the path he has helped put us on, which we will continue to follow. So, hey, so long and thanks for all the fish is what Sony's trying to say, but they're also trying to say, by the way, you don't own Spider-Man, so piss off, okay? Is that not the general context of that tweet?
I mean, I think you read in between the lines masterfully. But at the same time, like, because of that tweet, then there was all sorts of articles like, oh, X-Men is the reason that Spider-Man's not in the MCU anymore because Dark Phoenix bombed so bad that Kevin Feige has to focus on the X-Men. No, he effing doesn't. He doesn't need to, he's been managing this universe since day one with no problems. Adding a couple more characters into the mix is not going to split his attention. He doesn't need to devote all of his time to the X-Men. That's the most ludicrous effing thing I've ever heard of. Just, again, this is just a giant PR stunt. This is a giant pissing match. This was, I don't know, this broke 2 days before D23 started. Now guess what? All the internet traffic is, what's going on D23? Are they going to say anything about Spider-Man? Like, I'm doing it. I'm constantly trying to find updates to D23, which is exactly what they want.
So, when people were texting us about this, right, I said, listen, this sounds like a pissing match, and they're not going to put any stake into it. It really just sounds like someone wants more money and a producer credit, and Sony just wants to get more for doing less. So much so that even
how much less could they do? They had nothing to do with making those past two movies.
Well, here's the deal: they paid all the, as you know, Brian, but the listener probably doesn't know.
It. That's it.
They did. They wrote
a fucking check,
but they did nothing else. So much
creatively, they legitimately did nothing.
Yeah, I just listen. Hopefully, again, by the time you're listening to this on Monday, yay! It's all solved. The rumors that swung around were that Disney came in and went, hey, listen, I know we have a 5% stake in Spider-Man, but now we want 50%. And Sony leaked that saying, aren't they goddamn unreasonable people? To then the Disney people then like, guys, we didn't really ask for 50. We asked for like 20. Like I think we did a lot of heavy lifting on this and you rode our coattails with Avengers. So, I think we deserve an honest cut of what the hell we're doing. And, I'm really pissed about this, and I really wish it would stop, and I hope it's done by now.
Yeah, I agree. Full-heartedly.
This is dumb for both companies. It'd be dumb for Disney, and it'd be super dumb for Sony.
Super dumb for Sony. I was just talking to a friend of mine earlier about this. Like, what the top-grossing Spider-Man movie was before Marvel got involved?
Amazing Spider-Man.
Nope. Spider-Man 3.
Oh, God, really?
You know how much? Like $770 million.
That was it?
That was it. It's the highest grossing Spider-Man movie that Sony's done solo.
Side note, if you would like to hear our thoughts on Spider-Man 3, I would go check out our Patreon for our exclusive retro review of it.
Anywho, if I were Marvel/Disney, I would go in with that information and say, you didn't have nearly as much success with this character as we have. And I would also point out all of the critics and all of the fan reactions to this news. If this is Sony trying to say we can do this without you, I would prove to them very simply that you can't.
So I turned to something that I normally don't turn to for some solace: numbers. And I said, I know. And I asked myself a basic question that other people are asking of, okay, if they get Spider-Man, what other properties, what other franchises does Sony own that they can kind of cash in on? Mm-hmm. And the immediate answers were the Karate Kid, Ghostbusters, Men in Black, and Jumanji.
Okay, well, Karate Kid has a television show on YouTube.
Right.
Men in Black, as much as I enjoyed Men in Black International, did not do well at the box office.
I did not like Men in Black International.
No one cares about your opinion on that, CJ. And
Jumanji's awesome.
Jumanji's great. Another movie already coming out in December.
All for it.
And Ghostbusters, great. Not the latest one, but it's still a viable franchise. And that has a new movie coming out in 2020?
I believe so.
So nothing.
So the other thing that
they also have a deal to do a live action He-Man movie.
The other thing that I know that they had after I did some research was James Bond, which we got to a Bond fight last week, or the other week. Let's not bring that up. However, I said, okay,
why? Because you're wrong.
Show me the numbers, right? Give me some numbers for this. So
highest grossing Bond movie was Skyfall with what, like 750? 800?
1.1 billion.
Okay. So only Bond movie to ever reach $1 billion.
It's the only Bond movie to ever reach $1 billion. Now, of Sony's major properties, right? That also includes Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs and the Troll, or stuff like that, right? Not Trolls.
Trolls is DreamWorks.
That's right. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Hotel Transylvania. That's the one I was thinking of.
There you go.
And Smurfs. Name the other property, Brian, that has crossed the $1 billion threshold with Sony.
None.
Nothing besides Spider-Man. So the only two films that they have that have ever broken $1 billion were Spider-Man Far From Home at a 1.109 billion, and then Skyfall, which is 1.08 billion. Right?
Which isn't even the latest Bond movie.
No, it's not.
Look up how much Spectre made.
Probably not a lot.
Not enough.
So Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle made 960 million. Very respectable. And then Brian, just like you said, Spider-Man 3, their fourth highest grossing movie with 890 million.
I was off by 100.
So, I mean, they don't have a whole lot to be going on. So they don't have a lot of franchises that are really important. You know, there's a new Ghostbusters movie coming out, but the last Ghostbusters movie wasn't a success, and people are at least excited for this reboot, but who knows what's going to happen. Sony doesn't have a lot going for it. So I know they're trying to put all their eggs in one Spidey web, but this just seems like a poor business decision where if they do screw this up and they can't get Spider-Man to go $1 billion by itself without the help of Marvel, this studio is in trouble. And there are not a lot of studios, Brian. There's not a lot of studios. It's pretty much Disney right now.
Disney and Universal.
Yes, there can't be two. There needs to be more.
No, I agree. I gotcha. I know what you're saying.
It's just ridiculous.
Even if Marvel wanted 20%, even if it was 20% of $1 billion movie, I still make 800 million. I don't see how that's a bad deal.
Which is what they made for Spider-Man 3, right? It's what they made for Venom, right? 855. Like it's what they've made out of their really successful
their status quo.
Well, yeah, but like they cite Venom as of we can do this franchise. We just had a huge success with Venom. Like it's $185 million. That's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. But compared to the 1.1 billion you just got, like there's a miss there. So
I would also point out the critical reception of Venom was very lukewarm. And even the fan reception was very lukewarm. So how well do they really think a sequel is going to do? About the same, if not worse.
I guess they're saying if we're only going to make 855 million, we might as well just it all be ours instead of having to split it with the success with somebody else, which makes again,
God forbid we put out a quality product.
Wow, that's what you get for Sony. I hope by Monday this was moot. but if not, at least you know our thoughts. Brian,
moot.
need to move on.
I'm not the one keeping us here.
I know you're not. This is it's
Speaking of failed enterprises,
it's time for you to put on your shield here, Brian, because I need you to go ahead and defend SyFy, because Krypton has been canceled after 2 seasons, and their spinoff of Lobo is not moving forward, which is fine. I didn't really see.
I'm not surprised.
Didn't need to see a Rob Zombie SyFy show.
I mean, you can't do that. You can't say that. You didn't see how they handled Lobo in season 2 of Krypton.
But he looked like Rob Zombie.
Sure, that's what the character looks like.
I know. I didn't need it.
Okay. What about so? Why do I need to defend SyFy?
Just proof that nothing can last on SyFy. That SyFy is an inferior network and no one tunes into it.
That's not true. There's plenty of things that have lasted.
No one tunes into it and no one cares about it. SyFy could disappear off of TV tomorrow, Brian, and everything would be fine.
That's not true at all.
Nothing would change.
Just because there's been several failed shows. Listen, for as many, even on the major networks, for as many successes there are hundreds of failures.
Oh, absolutely.
The fact that this show got a second season is impressive to me, because no one, and this isn't even SyFy's fault, no one gives a shit about Superman's grandpappy.
Right.
Nobody. This was not SyFy's fault.
But
this
SyFy greenlit it. SyFy's like, yes.
You know why?
You know why
SyFy greenlit it? If you are the head of any studio, especially a C-list television station, and somebody comes to you and says, hey, we want to give you a Superman show, you sign on the dotted line. Who the hell cares?
But see,
SyFy
Brian,
said yes, but DC's the one who said this is a good idea.
But Brian, I want you to realize that they don't come to SyFy and say, do you want a Superman show? They go, do you want a Superman show? And they go, oh yeah, sure. Like, give us money. And then they have to write the check.
I get that. It's a Superman show. It doesn't matter. If you are a studio exec, and at the height of freaking superhero fandom, you greenlight a Superman show, and you write whatever check you need to.
But didn't you literally just say, God forbid we put out quality with Sony just 3 minutes ago on this? If nobody cares about Superman's grandpappy, where's the quality?
I'm not blaming. First off, I'm not blaming.
No, you're startled that I just put your words back in your own goddamn mouth.
That's not true. I can recover from this. Hang on.
Go ahead. Do the acrobatics to make this happen, please.
Listen. Just my personal feelings about Superman. Doesn't necessarily mean that they couldn't still put out a quality product.
But did they?
I haven't seen it, to be honest with you, so I can't really say so. But I mean, they put out enough of a quality product to warrant a second season. I mean, clearly it did something. It did something well. I mean, is there anything in this article that says why it was canceled? Maybe it wasn't because of ratings.
I honestly didn't care enough to read the article. The headline gave me the story I needed.
I bet you is one of those shows that was just too expensive to make. That's the reason they canceled The Expanse, and The Expanse just got picked up for on Amazon. Hang on, let me see.
No, it's just ratings. People didn't watch the show.
I bet you DC Universe does something with this.
But just so you know, it doesn't seem like it's financial in the sense of, God, this show costs a lot to make. It's that their ratings went down 50%.
Okay.
In live,
like I said, maybe. I mean, I can't judge it because I haven't watched the show. I plan on watching it. It's available on DC Universe. It's very, very low on my priority list.
This is the typical thing with SyFy shows that I've been exposed to, so I'll speak in that regard. Anytime someone's like, you really need to check it out, with the exception of like The Magicians, you're like,
The Magicians is great.
I've heard wonderful things.
Battlestar Galactica a couple years ago.
It's you need to watch this show that's on site. Oh, it's over. Like, before the sentence comes out of their mouth of, man, you really need, oh, it's already canceled.
Is The Magicians over?
I don't know if The Magicians is
over.
I
think they're in season 5 right now.
With the exception of The Magicians, but like anytime anyone else has given me a show on SyFy to watch, it's, you should, it's canceled.
No, hang on. I'm going to Google SyFy shows. Let's see here. I'm just going to name the good ones. That one just got canceled. No, Happy just got canceled.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna name
after
good
2 seasons,
SyFy shows.
Wait, after 2 seasons, didn't Happy just get canceled?
Yeah.
Which had critical acclaim? Like, huge critical acclaim, right?
I don't remember. I honestly am surprised that
Chris Maloney, Patton Oswalt. It was a weird show. Belonged on SyFy, but canceled after 2 seasons.
Okay. I'm going to name the good shows that have come out of SyFy. Are you ready? Okay. Whether they're canceled or not, I'm going to give you good shows.
So people told me I should watch Happy. Now it's canceled.
Happy, which is on Netflix right now, I think. I haven't seen The Expanse, but I'm going to go ahead and say the fact that it has such a huge following, there's something to it.
Canceled and picked up for...
It's picked up by Amazon.
Picked up on Amazon, but canceled.
The Magicians, Battlestar Galactica.
Okay.
12 Monkeys, which didn't get canceled. It ran its entire arc.
Okay, good.
Eureka, which is an amazing show.
I thought that show was boring as hell.
That's
me. That's me. I just
Z Nation, which ran for 4 years. Warehouse 13, which is a spinoff of Eureka, that ran for 5 years. Stargate SG-1 ran for 10 years. Farscape, another Stargate show. Alphas, which you love.
I loved Alphas, but again, canceled on a cliffhanger, no less. After 1 season or 2.
Another Stargate show, Being Human.
That's canceled.
Caprica, which is a spinoff of Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, see how we're listing a lot of the shows that I've never heard of before.
No, I've heard of all of this stuff. I just didn't watch Incorporated.
The ones that I have heard, I haven't watched.
All of the Ghost Hunters shows? Come on.
There are a few that I legitimately would like to watch. Just I don't have SyFy, so I have to watch it through other means and just didn't feel like putting that energy in. But the thing is, most of the shows that get a lot of buzz, that people really talk about, just don't last on SyFy. It's a network, unfortunately, that just doesn't let you go a long time. I'm glad to hear 12 Monkeys ran its course, because I know that was a show that had a story it wanted to tell, and I'm glad that it got to tell and it was done. I know The Magicians is a pretty damn good show and it's running for 5 seasons, which is good. But every time they get anything with a little bit of buzz on it that's a little bit more mainstream, the one that can kind of break out a little bit, it's usually some kind of weird hit and cancel. And that could just be SyFy's viewing audience, right? They don't want the typical stuff, and they want the weird, the loopy, and they want the things that are a little bit unpredictable. It's just unfortunate that every single time I'm starting to maybe get interested in a SyFy show, it's canceled. So I'm sorry. Listen, Krypton's gone. No one cared about Superman's grandpappy. I get that. We kind of had doubts from the beginning, but this played out exactly like we thought it would on a SyFy network. And God forbid, Brian, we push out some quality. Well, now that we're done talking about the world of comics, it is now time for my favorite hobby. It's where we go around the internet. We find the weird. I find the obscure, then I ask for a tech perspective. This story hurt me a little bit, mainly just because when this podcast was starting out, we were trying to figure out a way to get a little bit of change to upgrade our equipment, or just kind of bring some joy to you fellow listeners.
Some scratch.
I was trying to make a buck, just trying to keep the lights on and try to own a website. So we turned to one of the nerdiest things in the world, LootCrate. And we said, hey, click a link, buy some stuff, give us $1. Like, help us out a little bit. Brian, you and Josh subscribed to several LootCrates, but noticed a little delay in getting some of these products, and noticing that you're not getting the products in the scale you normally would. And we got the news that LootCrate, America's once fastest growing company, has filed for bankruptcy protection.
Yeah.
So how has this affected you, Brian?
I haven't gotten a crate in like 3 months. Let me be straight. I got a crate recently, but it was the one I was supposed to get 3 months ago. So I'm still getting charged, but I'm backlogged. Like, I'm owed like 3 crates.
Sounds like Movie Pass right now. Except I actually got the service that I paid for.
In fact, my credit card information changed, and they tried to charge me, and they couldn't. And I'm really debating on whether or not I should fix it.
This literally sounds like Movie Pass, just so you're aware of this.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I should fix this because I haven't gotten my crap.
Hold on, wait. I just realized the parallel to this. It sounds too good to be true. You pay just a little bit of money, get a lot of stuff back in return, and they're charging you in advance, and you're not getting the product.
I mean, let's be real. I got 4 years, 4 years of amazing stuff.
I got many free movies out of Movie Pass.
I don't know.
You are now on the me side of the Movie Pass debate, and I am now on the you side. This is very strange.
I'm not debating. I'm debating whether or not I should reactivate this.
No, they haven't given you boxes in months. Why would you give them more money?
That's true.
They literally just said we can't handle money, guys. We're not supposed to have that. Can we get a thing that says we don't have any money yet? Can we get a little thing? Can I get the note? I would like to. You want copyright BNAM? I insert this clip for your enjoyment.
I declare bankruptcy!
Hey, I just wanted you to know that you can't just say the word bankruptcy and expect anything to happen.
I didn't say it, I declared it.
Still, it's not anything.
That's what's happening right now in the LootCrate office. Michael Scott is running the show, and you're sitting there with your phone in your hand right now going, I don't know, maybe I want to update my credit card for him. Yeah, sure, give him more money, Brian.
Well, hang on.
Is there a we're sorry?
I legit just got an email from LootCrate about notice
we're recording?
Court document. Yeah, at 8:56.
Oh, great.
Here's some legal stuff you need to know. Keep an eye out for court notices.
Oh, that's fun. I never got this from MoviePass. I got their chief marketing officer sent me an email once. That was Chloe the dog.
You're probably going to get some official court notices regarding LootCrate. Everyone, employees, looters, suppliers is getting them. For now, don't worry. You don't have to do anything. But you can go to a meeting in Delaware if you want to.
No.
Interesting.
And you can say, hey, I gave you money. Give me stuff.
Yeah, this is just telling me I'm about to get a lot of mail.
And they're like, disregard that. Don't read it. Don't
Yeah,
figure out if
pretty
you have any
much.
legal recourse against us for not giving you products that you paid for months in advance. Also, can I have your credit card info again, please?
They are still asking me for my credit card
Yes,
info.
of course they still are.
I will not be fixing that. No way.
This is absurd.
So yeah. So there's that.
Why am I more outraged than you are on this? It's your money and I'm offended for you. I'm treating you like a sucker. Hey, Brian, it's us. Remember us? LootCrate. Give us some money.
The thing is, LootCrate had a completely viable business model until recently, apparently. Unlike MoviePass, which was a scam from the get-go.
But
I don't feel like I got scammed in any way.
benefited. I didn't lose anything from MoviePass. I didn't lose a damn thing. They're leaking the credit card information, but the credit card's for the MoviePass card, which I don't have anymore, which wasn't linked to me. Like, I made out like a bandit. Anyway, I'm sorry, LootCrate. R.I.P. It was fun while it lasted. Can we please have our backdated LootCrate boxes and then we can peace out?
Yeah, I would love to get the 3 crates I'm owed, but I'm
sure the one of the documents that you're going to receive, Brian, is like BT dubs in super fine print. Yeah, if you want to ask them for your money back or extra money because they never gave you the product that you deserved, please let us know. But LootCrate's like, just throw it out. You don't need to read it. What are you, a lawyer? I ain't no lawyer. I'm just a country chicken. That's what they're expecting you to be. A sucker and a sap. Read those letters.
Well, as soon as I get the notices, I will let you know.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, CJ.
Remember how we just yelled at Sony and said bad things about Sony? Damn you, Sony. Bad Sony, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Sony. Good Sony. Different division. Very happy for you. Because Sony is acquiring Insomniac Games. If you're not familiar with them, maybe you've played their game, Spider-Man, Marvel's Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4, because they made that game, which is fucking awesome, but I've never played it, but I know it's really good.
It is very good.
Well, they bought that
So
studio. Now they're known...
Great. Hopefully they don't fuck anything up.
Now they're also known for some also very, very popular PlayStation exclusive, like Ratchet and Clank, Spyro the Dragon, Resistance, but then they also made some other things like Sunset Overdrive for the Xbox One, and made some VR games like Edge of Nowhere and Stormland for the Oculus Rift. This company does really cool things, but mostly on the PlayStation platform. They were the creators of the very popular Spider-Man game on PlayStation, and I'm actually okay with this. It's kind of like when Marvel bought Bungie, and you're like, well, yeah, that makes sense. They're pretty good at making games for your things. Let it happen. So I'm actually okay with this. But, Brian, as a person who loves the Spider-Man game on the PlayStation 4, what are your feelings about this?
I just hope Sony doesn't screw it up. Now, again, to your point, it's Sony's gaming division. I don't know. As long as I get a second Spider-Man game and it's as good as the first one, that's all I care about.
No, Brian, it needs to be better.
Or better. As good or better.
But you've been a PlayStation owner for a long time. So
I have been.
When you talk about things like Ratchet and Clank and Spyro the Dragon, I mean those are huge PlayStation games.
They're great fun.
They were exclusives that really drew people in.
Yes.
So do you think that partnering with PlayStation makes that a better experience, or is this just kind of just putting a skin on it and just let it do its thing and nothing really changes? Like, what do you think the impact of this is going to be?
I don't think this is going to be like when,
Because for example, when Microsoft bought Bungie, and Brian, I didn't mean to cut you off, but when Microsoft bought Bungie, it was seemed like a smart move at the time, seemed like a thing that was just common sense. But once they got in there, Bungie kind of fell apart, and now it's its own different company making other games. Are you worried about that at all?
No, it's Sony as a company has made plenty of solid games, and I'm drawing a blank on what they are right now. I'm not gonna lie, that's my bad. But more importantly, when Microsoft acquired Bungie, they also lost half of their employees.
Oh, okay.
As long as that doesn't happen, it's gonna be fine. When Microsoft acquired Bungie, half of the studio said nope and went and formed another studio. So again, as long as the moving parts are there, and again, I don't think Sony is going to be like all up in their isnish. Like, I think they're just going to say, hey, we'll give you the money, you make the games, and hands off type of thing. Again, I'm not positive. I don't work for these people. If I did,
wait, what?
We wouldn't be having a discussion about why Spider-Man may or may not be leaving the MCU.
Wait a minute. I thought we started the show exclusively because you had that link with Sony.
Yeah, no. In fact, I am not their designated reach out when they need to leak something.
Oh.
So, sorry to disappoint you.
I feel like I just wasted 4 years of my life because this was the story I was waiting for, and now
longer since you've known me for like 8.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't know you. Okay, fine. Before we move into the next topic, Jimmy, would you please roll the thing? Felt good. We just wanted to say that your support of this show is what keeps us going every single week. And if you want to support this show and get exclusive content, become a member of our Patreon. Benefits start at just $5, and you'll earn yourself a shout out on this show. So go to patreon.com/thatkindofnerd and join the club. Jimmy, back to the show, please. All right, it is now time to turn our attention to the world of TV and movies in a segment that we call Screen to Stream. Brian, we had this this movie's trailers. I'll say this.
What words are you trying to say right now?
Sent in by a fan for the movie Marriage Story. The reason I'm saying what is happening is there were 2 trailers released for this movie back to back. It stars Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver.
So deep.
And you get 2 trailers, one from Scarlett Johansson's perspective and one from Adam Driver's perspective.
They both seem to end the same.
They do end the same, which is, of course, this wonderful relationship seen from their perspective, and then it just cuts to...
But it's all falling apart!
They're in divorce court. And not the TV show. They're in an actual court. So, Brian, this was 2 different perspectives. I mean, what was your feeling from...
This is stupid.
Okay, good. Me too.
This is stupid.
I love Scarlett Johansson.
I do love ScarJo.
I like Adam Driver. He's
all right.
He's fine.
I can take a look.
I don't dislike him, but
yeah. If you were at a party, I'd say hi.
Right.
But I wouldn't invite him.
If I was out in public, I definitely wouldn't bother him when he's at the Cheesecake Factory. But I would at least take a picture.
Yeah, like one of those sly pictures.
Right. Exactly.
You don't walk up and ask him for the picture.
No.
Like you pretend you're going to the bathroom and real quick you snap the picture as you're walking past.
We've gotten wildly off topic.
I actually think this topic is better than the Marriage Story thing itself. Let's continue with sneaky ways to take pictures of Adam Driver. You know what you could do?
What's that?
You could camp outside of the restaurant that he's waiting at. And then when he goes to get the valet keys, you pose as a valet.
That's a problem. No.
You get the vest.
No.
You take the picture. You grab his keys, and then you steal his car.
No.
That's how you do that.
No, because it's Adam Driver. I would do that for Robert Downey Jr. I would do that even for Adam Sandler.
The things that I would do for Robert Downey Jr. cannot be said in this podcast. Let's just be honest. I would do things.
Go ahead. No.
I wouldn't even do for a Klondike bar. I would do things for Robert Downey Jr. If Robert Downey Jr. were to ask me to do things and then hand me a Klondike bar, I would die on the spot after doing said things.
Guys, did you hear about Brian? No, what happened to him? He died. What? How? Robert Downey Jr. gave him a Klondike bar? Dead. Just fell to the floor.
That
it was
sounds
over.
about right.
That sounds about right. That does sound like the way Brian went down. That does sound like what would happen. Oh my God. So marriage. Listen, thank you, listener, for sending in this topic. I'm not going to embarrass you by saying your name by this because I really don't care about this movie. It's on Netflix. It's a Netflix movie. That's the other part too. It's a Netflix movie, so they won't let me know about it. We'll get to that in a second. Listen, the next couple topics are coming out of the D23, which is Disney's big time as we speak, becoming hot news. And The Mandalorian. We got a trailer for The Mandalorian, a full trailer for the Star Wars Mandalorian.
Yes.
It looks nice.
It looks very nice.
Obviously the story, not a whole lot revealed, which is fine. Please don't reveal the story to me. Just show me really cool scenery and cool actors and amazing suits and pew-pew-pews, and that's all I really need.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. Do we have a date for The Mandalorian?
November 12th. Everything that they showed, it seems like, I mean, obviously, I'm pretty sure November 12th is the drop date of Disney Plus.
Sounds like it.
This is dropping. We're going to talk about another trailer that's dropping November 12th. Their High School Musical TV series is dropping. Like a lot of their.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What now?
I read / may have accidentally seen a trailer while I was on the webpage for a High School Musical TV show that Disney Plus is doing.
Listen, Brian. On that kind of nerd, we embrace all fandoms.
I'm not a fan.
Listen, Brian, it's a safe place, and
I know it's a safe place.
We're fine with all fandoms. It's okay to say that you're a fan of High School Musical.
Can we? I will be happy to talk about High School Musical with you. Can we finish talking about The Mandalorian?
No, because one does not accidentally watch a trailer for High School Musical TV series. It's okay to talk about your feelings of High School Musical.
Listen, I don't like High School Musical, but you also have to realize I worked at Blockbuster during the heyday of High School Musical. And you know what movie we played on the TVs on repeat? All 3 High School Musical movies. I've seen all 3.
So you hate watch High School Musical?
I've seen them all multiple times. I hate watched it, exactly. Just like I hate watched Twilight.
So you liked it, but you hate watched it. Okay.
So when I hear a High School Musical TV show is coming to Disney Plus, my morbid curiosity / hate causes me to click the link. And I watched it. I watched the trailer, yes.
See, the best part about this is you've had many opportunities to segue back to The Mandalorian, but you haven't.
I've asked you to segue back to The Mandalorian. You refused.
I'm just going to say, Brian Thornton, on record, High School Musical fan. So, tell me about your thoughts on The Mandalorian.
And by the way...
Yeah, no defense. Yep.
The Mandalorian looks... listen, I'm not surprised. It looks great. I don't think we need to say anything more about that. You know what I really did like, though?
Go ahead. What did you really like?
I was waiting for the scene where, like, Pedro Pascal takes off that freaking helmet.
Yeah,
and, like,
I hope it never does.
It's just the Mandalorian.
I hope
that's what I like.
I hope it's like Judge Dredd with...
Like, he doesn't take it off. Maybe for, like, a brief second in shadow, or maybe, like, very last episode... Just him being a badass Mandalorian bounty hunter, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah. And it's nice to see a droid kicking ass, by the way. Yes. I just want to point that out. Shooting guns and stuff. Cool.
So all of this looks fantastic. I'm down for it. But Brian, there was a bigger trailer. An even more important trailer that came out. It's for the movie Noelle.
See, you joke, and you know what? You want to joke about my like for High School Musical. I was expecting you to tear me apart for this.
No.
I am excited about this movie.
This
looks
is a
wonderful.
Perfect crossover for you.
Did you watch this trailer?
I did watch this trailer.
This looks wonderful.
It looks very family-friendly and cute.
I'm okay with it. Listen, I watched the Christmas Chronicles last year with Kurt Russell, which was a joy.
It was movie.
I think this is also going to be a joy as well.
I got my heart hurt by that Kurt Russell movie because I really wanted to like it and I didn't.
It was good. You're just a fool.
What's really great about Noelle is that it stars Anna Kendrick and Bill Hader, and also Billy Eichner making a cameo, as well as a lot of other kind of bigger name celebrities.
Was it Shirley MacLaine I saw in there?
I thought that was who it,
I think that was.
I think it was. But it's a sweet little Christmas movie about the mantle of Santa Claus gets passed to Nick's. What? Help me out. Help explain this movie because my brain just.
The mantle of Santa Claus gets passed down to Bill Hader, who's playing Nick Jr.
Yes.
And from what I can gather from the trailer, he doesn't want it. He's very overwhelmed by it. Noelle, played by Anna Kendrick, is his sister.
Yes.
Says to him, "Hey, you're going to be fine, but maybe just take a weekend off. Just get away from this." And he does, and he doesn't come back. And it's one of those Santa's gone missing movies, and we have to, go find him and save Christmas. It looks fun. It looks adorable. Anna Kendrick in the real world being all like, I don't know about the real world. And her commenting on yoga pants saying they're festive. It's like Elf almost, but with Anna Kendrick.
I say, how did Elf feel? Here's my dollar bet. Are you ready for the dollar bet? This ends with her being Santa Claus, right?
Sure.
Okay. Bill Hader.
I'm okay with that.
Bill Hader doesn't come back to be Santa. He continues to be a yogi, and Anna Kendrick is Santa Claus.
Is that what they're called? A yogi?
Yeah. You watched Yoga Hosers. How do you not know that?
I didn't put two and two together.
There will be more from Disney Plus and Disney in general over the next couple days. So
they also made two other big announcements about Disney Plus today.
Please go ahead if you'd like to go ahead.
I mean, there's nothing huge. There's nothing more concrete than the announcement that there's 3 other Marvel Disney Plus shows coming out. One of them being Moon Knight. Moon Knight, She-Hulk, and
Miss Marvel.
Not
the Marvelous.
Miss Marvel is what is her, the most recent iteration of Miss Marvel. I don't even want to butcher the name. But those are 3 other Disney Plus shows coming out, which, first off, yes, please, I want Moon Knight. That would be awesome. And then they also announced that they're bringing back the Muppets again, which I'm super excited about.
To play the music.
And that gets released in 2020.
It gets released?
It gets released in 2020.
Oh, I'm so sorry they're putting on Muppets. I have a question.
Yeah.
Only because I really, really, really liked the Muppets movie by, Jason Segel.
Jason Segel, yeah.
And then when they did another Muppets movie without Jason Segel, it wasn't very
so good.
Jason Segel involved in it?
I don't believe so. But here's the other thing that you need to keep in mind. After Muppets Most Wanted is the movie you are referring to.
Yes.
They did another Muppet show on ABC.
Oh, yeah?
And it did not do well because it took some time to find its footing. But honestly, it was really good. Okay. And I know it didn't do well with the ratings. And I really think that's because of the fact that kids don't identify with the Muppets anymore. But it was a great show for those 10 or 12 episodes that it aired for. And between that, all of the Marvel shows, you've got stuff like Noelle coming out. You've got, obviously, The Mandalorian. Like, Disney Plus is shaping up to be an amazing platform. I'm really excited to see what else they come out with. Oh, and apparently there's a show called The World According to Jeff Goldblum.
Yes.
I'd like to watch just to see Jeff Goldblum do things. I don't know what he does, but I'll watch him do it. So yes, I'm excited.
So next 2 things are going to be kind of rapid fire, okay? So just brace yourself.
Rapid fire.
There is a Red Band trailer in the show notes. I highly encourage you to go watch. It's for a movie called Honey Boy. It is written by Shia LaBeouf. Don't run away from me yet. Listen to me, damn it. And it's kind of semi-autobiographical where Shia LaBeouf is playing his father, his own father, and he has 2 other actors who are playing him in various stages of his life. And in the trailer, if you know Shia LaBeouf's career, you start to see the Easter eggs of that's from Transformers. This is from Eagle Eye. Oh my God, that's from Even Stevens. And it looked really compelling. It looked really good, really original. And it may be the start of an upswing back for Shia LaBeouf after he had a Peanut Butter Falcon that was just recently released, and now this movie, which is getting a huge amount of buzz. I'm curious, Brian, because you know Even Stevens, you know those other projects. What you felt about this trailer?
I think you covered it. I'm interested. It's nice to see. Hey, it's nice to see him. Shia LaBeouf is a great actor. Whether or not you think he's crazy when he's not on screen, which he very well may be. I mean, I'll just point you to his performance in Fury, and to show you what an amazing actor he is. So this seems great and it seems really interesting. And I didn't know, like, just watching the trailer, I didn't know some of the stuff about him, the relationship between him and his dad. I'm curious to see how this all plays out. I mean, yeah, sign me up. I'll see it.
The final thing I liked about that, it's very honest to even focus on the night that he's arrested and like all the downhill stuff that's happening. So I think it looks really honest. And again, I think it's going to be a comeback for Shia LaBeouf. The next one is
Don't
Apple.
call it a comeback.
That's
He's
very
been
true.
there for years.
Many years. The next one is from Apple TV Plus. We finally got some footage, an actual real trailer for the morning show, and I think we both said, hold on, let me get out our notes because I want to pull that up. Yeah, that was bad, right? Doesn't look good. It just
Wow, are you 6? I did not say that.
It looks very uninteresting. I really don't care.
Listen, it doesn't say. I'm not going to say it looks very uninteresting. It's just not interesting enough to make me sign up for another service. Here's the problem. Disney Plus, and I'm going to not the problem. I'm going to show you the difference between the smart way to launch a streaming app and the stupid way to launch a streaming app. Disney Plus said, "Hey, here's our streaming app. Here's 5 shows that you're going to be able to watch on launch."
Right.
And Apple TV was like, "Hey, here's our streaming app. Here's 1 show with a mediocre trailer that you'll be able to watch." Like, this is not enough for me to say, I want to sign up for this streaming service. Absolutely not.
And they're rumored to be around $10 a month right now. It's the going rumor for Apple TV Plus. And Disney Plus is less than that. Or you spend $2 more and get 3 different networks with it. Like, I don't know. Didn't look good. The other fact about this, too, which was absolutely insane, Brian, right, was that each episode of the morning show costs more than an episode of Game of Thrones.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
So,
does this show have dragons?
No.
Because Game of Thrones had dragons.
Are you ready for this? So Apple's thrown in $6 billion for their programming overall.
Is $3 billion of that for Jennifer Aniston?
Well, hold on. Here's what's happening. The morning show is $15 million per episode. Jennifer Aniston takes home $1.25 million every episode.
That's the most ridiculous. No.
$1.25
No, that can't be right.
million dollars per episode. Oh, and who else gets that? Reese
That's
Witherspoon
more than
as
she
well.
made on Friends.
Right. Reese Witherspoon also gets the $1.25 million per episode. No idea. We don't
What
actually
about
know.
Steve Carell?
We don't know what Steve Carell is getting paid. There's no word on his salary. But I mean, 1.25 for Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon per episode. That's insane. You're right. There's no CGI dragons. Why does an episode cost $15 million? I mean, you're
because
Apple.
they broke a TV in the trailer. I mean, how many times did they do that trick take? That TV that he broke is like $4,000 a piece.
And
how many TVs break per episode?
and
it's just an hour of TVs breaking.
They're
That's
going to
what
have to break at least like several MacBook Pros in order for it to equal that too. This is insane. That's ridiculous. And whatever. Next, rapid fire. The Matrix 4 is officially a go with Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, and Lana Wachowski returning back to the Matrix. Also in this, I noticed that the author of Cloud Atlas is writing with Lana Wachowski, which I thought was a interesting duo because those sound like 2 really crazy storytellers.
Mm-hmm. Is the other Wachowski sibling not a part of this?
No, she is not. It's just Lana Wachowski.
Interesting. I wonder why.
People
maybe
have other things to do.
Just decided not to do movies anymore.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Listen, I thought. Say what you want about the Matrix trilogy. It made a lot of money. It did what it needed to do. I
It's
thought
a
they wrapped
good
it up.
trilogy. It's got it's got its things that are wrong with it, but I don't care who you are.
enjoy it.
I still enjoy Reloaded. I do
too.
enjoy Revolutions. Like, it's not nearly as good as the first one, but they're still highly entertaining and good movies.
This is another example of waiting too long for a sequel. It's almost 20 years since the first Matrix movie. What are we doing?
I think you just tell another story in the world.
But
like just
you
hard
have
reboot.
Neo and Trinity. How do you tell another story? Those 2 are dead.
Their code in the Matrix may not be.
God.
Well, let's be real. Let's be real.
Neo interface.
Neo
with,
is code.
right.
Neo has always been code. He's always just been his purpose is to reset the Matrix, right?
Sure.
Isn't, if I recall from the exposition dump that happened at the end of Reloaded, isn't Trinity code as well? Because he's always got to make a choice between Trinity and rebooting the Matrix, and until this story, he had always chosen to reboot the Matrix. So maybe maybe the people themselves, but the concepts of the One and Trinity have always been code within the Matrix.
Right.
So, and first off, Carrie Ann Moss didn't die.
Yes, she did. She was impaled and she died. Yep.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yep. She's very dead.
My point is this: like in a world such as this, you can do whatever you want.
Can I throw you a theory that I heard?
I'll hear said theory. Go ahead.
You remember how?
No Lawrence Fishburne.
Not confirmed to return.
Yeah.
Here's the theory I heard. It's not mine. I'm just perpetuating it right now. Remember how in the third movie, when Neo was out of the Matrix, he still could see the Matrix and he had some powers?
Yeah, they never referenced it during Revolutions.
So they're thinking that actually it's a little bit like a Matrixception, that it's a Matrix within the Matrix, that when he woke up, he would never actually woke up and they're still inside a Matrix.
That's not a new theory. That theory has been there since Revolutions.
Right, but now, hey, we're making a fourth movie. This is how you do it. All right, moving on. As we discussed with Netflix, with their many new shows that are coming out, and the fact of marriage, and no one really cares. But the thing is,
marriage.
It has been very hard to find Netflix content. Hence, our listener question at the end of today's episode: what do I watch? How do I know what's coming? What's leaving? How do I know what's going on? Well, Netflix is like, finally, okay, we gotcha. They are adding a latest section to show everything that is new and coming soon to Netflix. How did it take 84 years for this to be a thing?
I don't know. Listen, I'm glad it's here. You know what? I will say, whoever is in charge of writing those articles on the internet, everything that's leaving and coming to Netflix this month is got to be sweating it right now.
Well, they'll just do everything that's leaving instead of everything that's coming at that point.
I don't know. That's only half an article. If I'm an editor, I'm like, why am I going to pay you to do half a job?
Well, I mean, if you're an editor right now, you're not really paying your authors anything anyway. Good on you, Netflix. You needed this a few years ago, but sure, now that the streaming wars are in full swing, let's do the bare minimum of, let's just tell you what's coming out.
It's coming just in time because there's a new Netflix series coming out that I'm excited for. I don't know about you, CJ.
Tell me more.
I don't need to tell you more. And no, he does not have a car.
Oh, okay.
He has a battle cat. His name is He-Man, and he has a new series coming to Netflix being showrunner Kevin Smith.
We like the Kevin Smith.
We like the Kevin Smiths here at That Kind of Nerd, and I'm super excited. We like the He-Mans as well. At least I like the He-Mans. I listened to his announcement of this. I know he did a tweet, just kind of saying, hey, this is happening.
Can I read
his tweet?
Go
ahead and read his tweet. Go ahead and read his tweet.
By the power of Grayskull, I have to shower. No. I mean, I have the flower. One more try. I have the power! Thank you, Mattel and Netflix, for letting me play in your universe. I promise this will be Stinkor.
Stinkor is an actual character.
I know. I didn't read the tweet until right now. I'm reading it live. I found it funny.
Okay. Well, that's fun. I listened to his announcement, and it seems extremely loving and caring and exciting. This series is going to take place legitimately right after the old series from the 80s ends. It's just going to pick up right where it left off, and it's going to have some very strong animators behind it. The studio that did the Castlevania series that is on Netflix is doing the animation here. You have Kevin Smith as a showrunner. You have I can't remember his name, but a gentleman who just wrote the most recent run of He-Man for DC Comics also behind him. You got Mark Bernardin on board as one of the writers, as well as friend of Kevin Smith, and very, very smart storyteller. He worked on Castle Rock. He worked on Treadstone, which we talked about, what was it, a week or two ago?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then he also worked on Alphas, by the way, the show that you love.
Is this animated? Yes.
Or did he work on Alphas? I don't know.
I don't know.
It is animated. It's animated by the same studio that animates Castlevania. I said that 3 minutes ago if you were paying attention.
I was reading. I apologize.
But anyway, it just seems not a ton that we don't know a ton. Just that it takes place right after the original series and that these folks are involved. But that's all I need. I'm excited. I think it's going to be great.
Get hyped for He-Man, right? By watching the Toys That Made Us episode about He-Man. It's phenomenal. Go watch that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Final story of the day before we go ahead and do our listener question. We have a complicated relationship with YouTube here on That Kind of Nerd, especially with its YouTube Red, now YouTube Premium content. Not to be confused with RedTube. YouTube Red, YouTube Premium will be making their YouTube original movies and shows free to watch starting the month of September 24th. Starting September 24th. So there will be ads, but now you can watch Cobra Kai without giving YouTube physical money. You just give them your data and your time.
So why is it still asking me to update to YouTube Premium or to start my free trial whenever I log in?
There's still a way to not get ads, backgrounds. There's other stuff that comes with
They're
YouTube
not Hulu.
Premium.
First and foremost,
well, listen. What if I could just make all the ads on YouTube go away?
Is this the giant plan that they had? Because they threw in like a second or third ad in the middle of my videos. That shit pisses me off.
It is to get you to go onto YouTube with no ads. Yes, and get that money.
I'm not going to acquiesce to that.
You just get an ad blocker and boom, Bob's your uncle.
I don't have an ad blocker on my television.
Oh, touche.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited to watch Cobra Kai with limited ads. Because I'm interested, but I'm not giving YouTube my fucking money.
I held out long enough so that I didn't have to pay YouTube for their red tubeness.
No, it's YouTube Premium.
It's always RedTube in my mind, and their series all about hope.
As prompted by a listener who called in a few weeks ago to ask us some advice for helping navigate the streaming world, we now turned to you, the fans, and said, "Hey, would you like our suggestions?" And you said yes, and then a few of you gave us your own. So I'd like to take a moment and tell you what's important, what's good on streaming, but I want to start with you, the listeners, who have commented. Friend of the show and executive producer Brian Roman said, guys, if you're on Amazon, you need to watch The Boys and Good Omens. And if you're on Hulu, watch Letterkenny. Brian, I just started watching The Boys. I'm really enjoying it. Good Omens is next on my list, and I will never watch Letterkenny because I watched 2 episodes.
Yep,
no good.
Never. Brian Roman, I refuse based on principle.
Lodora Browning said, I'm pretty much exclusively watching Netflix, so I have no FOMO, but I do prefer their originals. And in no particular order, my top 3 are Stranger Things, Mindhunter, and Troll Hunter. And I can tell you, Stranger Things is great. Haven't watched Mindhunter. Troll Hunter, it's awesome. Got Anton Yelchin in it. It's fantastic. It's made by the guy who did Pan's Labyrinth.
Guillermo del
Toro. Yes, very good. And then, this is fun. And then Snoopy 92988, because this is Instagram and those are handles. Castle Rock on Hulu was great last summer. So, adding to the list. So, Brian, let's go on our list and give out our recommendations.
Well, now some of those things were taken off
fine.
my list. I wanted to say
them.
Castle Rock.
Well, keep it. It's fine. You don't have to. These do not take it off.
I've already checked it off. It's already checked off the list.
That's not checked off on mine.
I already checked it off. It's checked.
Fine. So this week we're going to be highlighting some content on Netflix.
Well, since we mentioned it already, I would be remiss if I didn't say that everybody, even if you're not into this type of thing, should watch The Toys That Made Us. About 8-part documentary series, just chronicling the history of certain toys that you know, toys that you love. I guarantee you will find something interesting in there. I watched the episode about Barbie and Hello Kitty, and I was like, wow, this is ridiculously interesting.
Yes.
As well as watching like the stuff that I used to play with, like Legos and He-Man and Star Wars and stuff like that. It's a really interesting watch. Really cool to see kind of how these things kind of come to be. I highly recommend watching it as soon as you can.
I'm going to go out on a little bit of a limb and give a suggestion for something you may not have heard of before. And that is the Netflix quote-unquote original series, The Rain. This starts off, it's 2 seasons right now. It starts off with a really interesting premise, which is, what if the rain were poisonous and could instantly kill you? It takes a little turns into a more refined and a better version of The Walking Dead at one point. And then the second season takes a really cool twist and kind of explores one character specifically and some of the consequences of like genetic testing. It's really good. I don't want to give up too much information, but the series is great. It is dubbed in English, So it's natively, I think, in Swiss.
I thought it was Dutch. I thought it was
Maybe
German.
Dutch. I think you're right with Dutch. I highly recommend going to the English dub, obviously, but throw on the English subtitles because sometimes things get lost in translation when they're redubbing it, and the subtitles help tell the story a little bit better. But the arena is really good, Brian. I think you even watched it too.
Yeah, as per your recommendation, I'm in the middle of season 2 right now, but highly entertaining. And the dub is not distracting in any way. I know some people worry about that. It's very well done, well dubbed, good voice acting by whoever dubbed it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was quite surprised.
So those are our 2 recommendations this week. We'll do some more next week. We just know that the show ran a little bit longer than we normally like, so just wanted to trim it down. So, listeners, as I said at the top of the show, you have some homework. Number 1, please subscribe to this podcast and get a new episode every single week. Give us a 5-star review on iTunes, and more importantly, share the show with a friend because sharing is the ultimate. Sharing is the ultimate internet currency, and we thank you for your donation. So, thank you so much, listeners, for making us your walk around your neighborhood or your drive to work, and we will see you next week.
Well, welcome to the club because you are that kind of nerd.
I gave you $40,000. And you gave me a cinder block broom with a poster of Reservoir Dogs on it, and I thought our transaction was complete. Before we go into the next topic, that's what I was going to say right there.
Yeah, let's go into that drop it.
Gotta go to the
Let's
topic
drop it
right
like
there.
it's hot.
Drop it like the topic.
Drop it like it's hot topic. Hot topic.
Hot topic.
Why did you make that the Hot Pockets theme?
Because it's hot and then another word in one
That's like
syllable.
the exact opposite of what Hot Topic stands for.
Hot topic.
I want you to walk into a Hot
Topic.
Topic. I want you to walk into a Hot Topic, do that, and see who tries to whip you with one of those like studded
you know they're gonna
belts.
be like, drink. That's what they're gonna say.
I didn't even understand what you said.
Exactly. They got the tongue ring. They just got it pierced, so they can't really.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, and they have difficulty hearing because they have those giant holes in their ears.
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Hmm?